So I've got 100 grams of couscous in the bowl here, and to that I'm going to add 175 grams of vegetable stock. So I've put a vegetable oxo cube into the measuring jug, added 175 grams of stock, and I'm now just going to add that to the couscous, and I'm going to just quickly give that a stir in and then just leave that to stand for 5 minutes, and it will rehydrate and it will absorb the water. Whilst that's happening, we're going to prepare all of our things to go inside the couscous. If you haven't got all of these ingredients at home, don't worry, you can use pretty much whatever you like, but the recipe asks you to use parsley, spring onion, yellow pepper, tomato, apricots and cucumbers. So I'm very quickly going to prepare these. So the apricots, first of all, I'm just going to cut them into really small pieces. Like that. The pepper, this is 1/4 of a pepper, I'm just going to take that inside piece out, and then I'm just going to slice it into thin slices, and then the thin slices I'm going to slice into small pieces. That you have pieces of pepper that sort of a size. The spring onion, I'm just going to take the top bit off, and I'm just going to take off the small bit at the bottom. I'm going to take the outside edge off, and then I am just going to slice the spring onion into small pieces. Use the green bits at the bottom as well, because that will add colour to your salad. The cucumber I'm going to slice into slices. About 1/2 centimetre thick. And then with each slice I'm just going to slice that into strips and then into small pieces as well. The tomato I'm going to slice into thin slices, and then I'm going to just do exactly the same, slice those into strips and then into small pieces. The parsley, it's almost best to use a larger knife for the parsley, because once you slice that into pieces, if you use the tip of the knife, then this helps you to chop the parsley finely. Couscous has been left for 5 minutes. It will have absorbed all of the liquid, and just use a fork to fluff it up. And once you've fluffed up the couscous, all you're going to do then is mix in all of the lovely coloured vegetables that you have chopped up. My couscous looks a bit browner than yours may do. That's because I'm using whole wheat couscous, which is higher in fibre. And all you do is mix that in together, and that's pretty much it done. You can mix in some French dressing if you would like. I've got some here. You could make up some French dressing, which is just a mixture of olive oil and balsamic vinegar, or you can just leave it as it is. Okay, for the koftas you'll need some wooden skewers, and it's best if you soak these in boiling water for a little while first. They're less likely to burn when you cook them. You also need an onion, chilli, garlic, some parsley, mint, coriander. Don't worry if you don't have all of those herbs, it really doesn't matter. And some lamb mince and some ground cumin. I'm going to make double the quantity on the recipe just because I've got double the quantity of mince, and I'm going to make it for a barbecue. So you need to use a food processor for this. If you don't have a food processor at home, then you'll just have to be really good at chopping up all of these ingredients very finely, and instead of putting it in the food processor, you'll just have to mush it together with your hands. So in order to prepare the onion, I've topped and tailed it, and now I'm peeling it. Once I've got it with the skin off, just getting rid of that outside extra bit, I'm going to put the flat side on the chopping board. I'm using the bridge hold, and I am cutting through to the base of the onion. I'm then going to put the flat side on the board. I'm going to use the bridge hold again, and I'm carefully holding it together and slicing through. This one doesn't want to stay together. Once you've sliced through, if you turn it 45 degrees, you should be able to then finish off cutting it into small pieces. When you get to this stage, I can feel like this bit's going to fall over, so I use my knife to move the onion onto its side, and then I can finish off. You don't need to chop it ridiculously small because you're going to put it in the food processor, which should do the hard work for you, unless, of course, you're not using the food processor. So that onion goes in the food processor. And I'm adding to that a clove of garlic. So again, top, tail, peel the garlic. I always use a piece of paper towel for my peelings, which keeps them really nice and neat and tidy, and then they don't get muddled up on my chopping board with the other ingredients that I'm using. And I'm just roughly chopping the garlic. The recipe asks you to use half a chilli. I'm going to use a whole chilli today just because I'm using double the amount of mince. So I'm going to cut that in half, and then I'm going to carefully take out the seeds. Be careful, once you touch chilies, the skin of a chili is an irritant, so if I touched my mouth or my eyes now, it would make them sting. So please be careful once you handle chilies that you don't touch any part of your body afterwards. And even if you wash your hands, it can still linger, so just be aware. So I'm just cutting that up into small pieces. And I'm just going to add that to the food processor. I'm going to switch it on now and blitz it. Okay, I'm now going to just roughly chop my herbs. So I've got coriander, parsley and mint here. Again, they don't need to be tidy because the food processor will do most of the work for you. And I'm going to pop those in. Along with my ground cumin. The recipe asks you to put in 1 teaspoon. I'm actually going to put 2 in because I'm using double the amount of mince. And then I'm going to add my minced lamb. You don't have to use minced lamb, you can use minced beef or minced pork if you would prefer. It really doesn't matter. There's a piece of paper on there that needs to come off. And then all that goes back in. Going to make sure that's nicely mixed in. So this mixture I'm now going to put onto a lightly floured chopping board, and I'm going to make it into little balls. I need to try and make them of equal size. And then when I've got enough of the same size, I'm going to skewer them onto my pre-soaked sticks. And the sticks only need to be soaked for about 10 minutes in boiling water. So if I just show you, just carefully thread them through. Like that. And once you've got them made to that stage, at school we would place these under the grill, and we would grill them on a low to medium heat, turning them regularly until they were golden all over and cooked through. I'm going to cook them on the barbecue, which is essentially the same sort of dry heat tonight. The important thing is to make sure that they are cooked through.